Going through the draft combine, was it what you expected?
Yeah, most definitely. I was confident going into it like that, what the numbers that I was going to hit. I had, benchmarks that I wanted to hit in a lot of the categories, and I hit almost all of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, just, having that confidence going into the combine. People actually don't realize, like, it's a long week because it's like 3 days, and, like, the first 2 days you're just spending it, like, just talking to teams and being in hospitals for all day. And it just takes a toll on you because you're not really eating. You're in the hospital for so long. Like, it's taking the most of your day. You're meeting with teams from like 6 p.m.
They ask you all those funky questions.
Yeah. So
what was the craziest question you got asked? Do you remember? Or even with like the Broncos asked you a crazy question?
Broncos were pretty chill. That was actually my first meeting when I went there to the combine because they actually like drew something up on the board. And me at the time, I'm just like thinking they're drawing it up just like they to show me, and like they ended up erasing it. And then at the end of the meeting, they're like, "All right, do you remember what I drew up on the board?" And I was like, "Oh hell," I was like, "Nah, I don't remember."
Oh man,
I thought they were gonna draft me after that, but
you thought he wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
Was it like a drawing that looked good, or was it like some?
Nah, it was just like
some abstract.
It was just plays they drew up. Actually, it was just plays.
Oh, it was plays.
Yeah,
okay.
Plays.
So they expected you just like, yo, look all that.
Yeah, like I'm just like.
And how much of a window did you get to like actually look at what they drew?
And they do it on purpose too, because it's the first thing that happens when you get on there. They're like, "Hey, like nice to meet you. All right, let's go on the board." They just start drawing it up fast, and I don't know if they want you to remember or at least remember parts of it, but I couldn't remember anything because I'm just like just looking everywhere, get drawing fast, And once they did that, they're like, "You got it," and like I didn't want to say no because I didn't want to seem like a slow learner, so they're just like, "All right." I'm just racing now, whatever. Then they start showing my film. Then at the end of the meeting, like I said, they asked me like what the plays were and stuff like that. I don't remember.
Okay, so you didn't get any crazy like what would you do if there was $1 million here? Like like those crazy.
It would just be weird stuff like, are you a cat or are you a dog? Like stuff like that.
And you had to explain it?
No, just like there's no explain, just pick one.
Oh, that's it.
Like it's like it's
no context.
Yeah.
All right, so that's because I've always heard like they always ask. Those questions. I've even heard a team ask like sometimes they ask like 100 questions like to one person. It's like they're really trying to deep dive psychologically into how you're thinking.
No doubt. They definitely try and challenge you. Some teams in there. So
yeah. Did you? So when you were in there, did you feel it was important to say what you thought was the best answer, or for you to just be yourself?
Definitely just to be yourself. Because they already know about you. They've done the research. It's been a whole calendar year. They've been doing research on you. So, I mean, at that point, if you're at the combine and you're not like being authentic with with the team and even with yourself, then that's kind of like a red flag. They already know everything about you, and they already know like everything you've done since you stepped on campus, and even some sort of like in high school, they know everything about it. So, I mean, you just got to go up there and be authentic, really.
Yeah. And like at any point were you nervous? Like were you like, oh shit, I gotta.
Yeah, I was nervous just because like I know there was some stuff in college that I know that they knew about already and stuff like that. So I just had to be prepared to answer those questions.
So it was and at the end of the day, as long it's like anything else, they want to make sure your character is
most definitely
is straight. Locker room presence is just as important as skill.
Most definitely,
locker rooms need to gel. They want to make sure guys are clicking, that you're part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
After you get all this combine stuff done, you get this out of the way. What's it like for you mentally going into the draft? I know you went on all your visits. How did you approach these visits? Was it like it's kind of like college visits, right? It's kind of like the same thing. You go on campus, they're showing you everything. Are they still interviewing you there? Like they're still checking you out, buzzing you out?
The interview process, like once I went to like visits on teams, like once you're on the visit, like they kind of already know about you at this point. It was just more of just having one-on-ones, just talking with coaches and just going around the facility, you looking at the buildings, and those type of visits are just, that's kind of like ideal of like who's really going to draft you, who's really wants you, who really thinks
you went on a lot, right?
Yeah, I went on a lot.
Did you think they were all necessary? Looking back at it now?
I mean, not that looking back at it now, because a lot of those teams passed on me.
Right.
But I mean, yeah. It was necessary for sure, but yeah, they were necessary, I would say.
Okay, and you learned something from from it at the end
Yeah,
of the
no
day.
doubt. And it was just more about if we drafted you, this is everybody we want you to meet, and we want you to be comfortable coming in day one. And that's why I'm kind of happy I had my visit with the Broncos because I
Yeah.
kind of knew the coaching staff already.
And that was
Kinda-
one of the last visits.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually it. Second to last visit.
Yeah, second last. So, because I remember we were talking about that, and then what was that visit like? Like, let's go because that's who you're with now. So let's
Yeah.
go to that visit. What was that initial visit like? The arena, the stadium. You know, the overall experience there. Did you meet Elway initially on that visit?
I never meet Elway. But it was cool though. I honestly was surprised. I didn't think it would look like that. Going there, I'm just thinking it's like a bunch of mountains, snow everywhere.
Denver's a beautiful city.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, people sleep on that.
Oh yeah, and then just meeting everybody. George Payton, Coach Hackett. All the different. Coach Burt Watson. He's my position coach, and Coach E, the DC, just meeting everybody, being comfortable with everybody, just realizing how many cool people are in the building. It was definitely, something that, that I was looking forward to if I did get drafted by the Broncos, and just the facility and everything was beautiful. And just being around there, it just gave like a family vibe for sure.
Yeah, and a great time to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you get on these visits, you come back. What now? After you're done with the visits, what's going through your mind up to the draft?
Yeah, just like talking with my agents and stuff, they were saying just like my range and like that late 20s to 50 range. So I'm thinking like around there I'm getting drafted.
Yeah.
Kind of just like knowing that my agent's telling me going into draft day like there's no way I'm coming out the second round if anything. So at least I know where I'm going around these, that range. So just having that range and just noticing, where I'm going from.
How much did it bother you to see everybody that went in front of you that played the same position?
Yeah, it did bother me a lot.
Were some of the guys that got ahead of you, did you play against them? Like some of these guys like that you felt like, yo, I played against that guy. I rocked him. Like, or I know I
Yeah, I played against one dude. He's okay. I wouldn't be mad that he was drafted ahead of me. But it was definitely a lot of guys in my position that I knew I was better than that like I seen like getting drafted ahead of me. Which I kind of like knew it could happen just because of the stuff that some of the stuff that happened with me at OU, and that was a reason, like a good reason why a lot of teams did pass on me, which I understood. And then also you got to think about like which team is in my scheme, and some of the teams weren't in my scheme, so I knew there was a chance. But I mean, it still hurt at the end of the day because a lot of the teams that I did have visits with, a lot of the teams were telling me like, oh, if you fall to us, we're not passing on you, blah blah blah. To see that happen on draft day, like it kind of did bother me a little bit, and having to wait longer than expected.
Yeah.
It kind of made me upset. But at the end of the day, I felt to a great place, a great place I felt very comfortable with on my visit, and I'm just happy to be there and happy that I get a chance to win a Super Bowl. So
Yeah, and that's ideally what it is. As long as it ain't the Cowboys. That's all I was praying for. I was like, man, don't go to the Cowboys.
No doubt.
I was like, yo, I got to start hating him if he goes to Eagles or the Cowboys. Like, Washington I could deal with.
Yeah.
Like I don't like Washington, but I deal with them, right? But I was like, Cowboys or Eagles? Man, I was like, I ain't never going to put on no Eagles supporting shirt. I'm never going to put on a Cowboys shirt. And I know you like the Cowboys as a kid. I know your dad loves the Cowboys.
My dad loves the Cowboys.
So I knew that I was like, don't go to any of those two teams because then I got to really just dislike you.
Yeah.
It's going to make it hard for me to root for you. But at that point, once you get drafted, you had that feeling. They flew you out the next day, right? You was up there already getting interviewed. What's that like? What's that like? Like when did that moment hit you? Like, yo, I've reached. Was it there after you got drafted, or was it once you arrived for the OTAs? Was it like, yo, this is official now?
Definitely when I arrived for a rookie minicamp, that's kind of when it like really hit me. Like I'm really a Denver Bronco. Putting on like my helmet and jersey for the first time, like I'm like really an NFL player, and like it was just so like felt surreal going through the practices that like I was actually there, doing it and being an NFL player. So I'll definitely say those first couple of practices.
So I don't want to put no pressure on you, but because I've been following your situation since the draft, like hard with I go on Bleacher Report, hit the Denver.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. There's some stuff late, especially when camp was coming to the end. I've seen a lot of like comparison in terms of how the Broncos want to use you to Von Miller. No pressure.
Yeah.
What does that say? Like what does that feel like? Like, oh man, I'm being like, yo, we're being compared to greatness right now, like in
Yeah.
terms of stuff, because he doesn't have a big body either,
Mm-mm.
but he gets to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stopping him,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of your game. Like they compare your size and your speed and your. I saw Bradley Chubb said your first step is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They quoted him on that. So when you start saying it's like kind of like Von Millerish, you know, that like his speed, his ability to get downhill and get to the quarterback, no pressure. But what's that like? Like does it give you like does that really put you like in a mode where like, yo, if they talking like that, like now that chip is really on the shoulder because I gotta live up to that. There's a lot of like greats that came out of Denver.
Yeah, man, that's just a guy like I've always looked up to. So, you know, I'm gonna always take bits and pieces of his game. So that's kind of where you see that come from. But I mean, being compared to a great like that, you know, it kind of, you know, not that I was already not motivated, but I'd be motivated when I see stuff like that. Being compared to a guy that's great like that, and you know has done great things for this game, and you know, just even when he texted me on Instagram and stuff saying good luck in Denver, like it's a great place, blah blah blah, and you know, just even that moment right there just kind of just hit me like, you know, I want to be where he's at, you know.
Yeah.
I want to
One of the all times.
Yeah, dude, I want to do all the things that he's doing. So I mean, it's definitely motivating for sure.